So, do you ever sometimes just feel like stuck? Like you're feeling just like unmotivated and down, and you're not sure why? Sometimes that comes from not listening to yourself, I've found. Prime example of that is where I am right now. I'm in a place called Grimes Farm, and it is a kind of like a nature conservatory kind of place. They have all these huge trails, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, just on the outskirts of town, really. And one thing that I absolutely love about Grimes Farm is that it is my place to do what I want to do in nature. And what's really kind of wild about that is the fact that I have been ignoring that call to nature, if you will, for quite a while. Specifically, I've had many times where I have felt like, after dropping my kids off, having a little time before work, it's a beautiful day, it'd be a great day to hike the trail and go to the observation tower at Grimes. And then I go, well, it rained the other day, so the trails might be a little muddy. Or, nah, I really should get to work. Or, yeah, they'd want me to put in as much time as I can. Or, even though I know the job I work for, my boss is one of the coolest people ever. Like, he just legit wants me to be happy and is okay with me taking time to do that as needed. And, you know, as long as I can get the things done that I really need and want to get done for work, then he's good with that, right? So the idea of me saying, oh, I've got so much work to do is kind of bullshit. It's kind of my way of giving myself an excuse not to come out and connect with nature. And I love it. I love connecting with nature. It reminds me of going on hikes with my dad. I mean, you got a cornfield on this side, which is cool, and you got a trail here. Now, what I love is beyond this cornfield, up the trail, you'll see it's very beautiful. But I feel most at peace and most satisfied when I'm in nature. And when I'm, sometimes when I'm up high. And Grimes Farm gives me that because they do have an amazing observation tower. But what I didn't realize is that this negative feeling that comes from ignoring the call, ignoring the do I want to hike, yes, no, whatever, that is so, it's painful, frankly, because I would tell myself, I'd make excuses not to do the thing that I felt literally physically drawn to do. I felt like I wanted to get on my motorcycle. I wanted to go be in nature, to cleanse, to clear myself a little bit, and to connect. And instead, I would do things that I felt I should do or were expected of me, even though those expectations technically I was setting on myself. The result of that is I burned out. And I found that I have to have outlets. Sometimes, like videos like this, great outlet. Hiking, great outlet. Swimming, great outlet. Going to the gym, good outlet. Drawing, fantastic outlet. In fact, I've started to honor that a little bit more in my design by going to an art store, getting some pens, getting some different colored inks, different types of paper, and I keep it next to my desk. So anytime I'm feeling like stuck or frustrated, those hints of shadow self or not self, I go, okay, I need to take a break and draw for a while. And it works. Oh, you got to see this. Take a look. Beautiful. Anyway, so when I feel those hints of frustration, I step away, I work on some art stuff, and sure enough, I feel clear, I feel cleansed. Or I'll just go outside for a minute and throw a ball with the dogs, clears the frustration. Or I'll just drink some cold water. I have cold thirst digestion, which means that I digest information and food better in a cold environment. So you know, I'll drink some cold water while I'm in my basement office, which is cold, right? But by not going to and thinking it would be selfish for me to go on a hike, what I've essentially done is denied myself something I know would bring satisfaction. So I could have just hiked up here by myself, and that's what I planned on doing regardless. But I thought, this whole Steve by Design channel is all about showing myself living through my design. And sometimes I think you can give too much of yourself. And so I think that's what happened this weekend. So let me get a little more specific. When this last weekend, my daughter and my wife and my mother-in-law went on a nice trip to go see my daughter's boyfriend in college. It was for my daughter's birthday. And I was totally okay with that because me and my son, who's 11, we're going to have a guys' weekend. Well, the problem is he's 11, he's a generator full of energy. And he'd have certain things that he wanted to do. Deep down, I knew I didn't really want to do it, but it was the guys' weekend. So I found myself repeatedly saying, yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't want to say no to anything. As a result of that, at the end of the day, I wasn't bitter, but I was exhausted, much like I am right now climbing this huge hill. Holy cow. Anyway, I was exhausted, and it was emotionally exhausting because I missed my wife, missed my daughter, and I'm spending all day from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to bed doing exactly what my son wants to do. And he, if I'd stop and ask if we could do this or that or other suggestions, he didn't seem like he wanted to do that, And that's just like, I don't think it was frustrating, but it was disappointing for me. So this morning when I woke up, I went to the gym with my daughter, like I always do. Love doing that, getting up, moving, getting the blood pumping. And I essentially realized that I needed to not ignore the call. So when I felt a desire to hike up to the tower, I thought, you know what? I'm done ignoring myself. I'm done not listening. I want to take this time to reset. It's a new week, it's Monday. And it's fall, so it's beautiful. So I'm gonna go do that. And I knew the minute I hopped on my bike and I started heading up to this way, I could feel it in my spine. Now I found that my sacral, my stomach, I don't get that gut feeling, but I can feel that pull. And as kind of a secondary sign that I'm aligned, I will have what I call the soul spidey sense. It's like a literal tingling in the back of my neck, like right at the base where your shoulders meet, right? Where the tag on your clothing is. And when I'm doing something that I know is aligned, kind of that secondary confirmation that this is a yes, not yes, that's when the soul spidey sense goes off, right? I apologize if you can hear the wind, but I found that it's been very, very confirming for me. And so the whole time that I was coming up here, I thought, yeah, let's do that. Let's go. And I could feel it. Let's fucking go, And that's kind of where I'm at. So you're with me. I'm on this hike. It's a damn good time. I just recently introduced a friend of mine to human design. Now, this is a guy who never in a million years would have thought that he would have found this interesting. And those of us who get into human design, we have this holy shit moment. Everybody has it. And it's where, okay, I gave him my date of birth, my location of birth, and the time of birth. Those three things. That's it. That's it. And somehow it knows exactly the kind of child I was. It knows the kind of relationships I get into, the kind of person I'm attracted to. It knows me better than I know me. And it knows this in 5 minutes. And it freaked him out. And I've had that aha moment. I've discussed it before. I'll go into it again. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear a little bit about that. But he was just like, whoa. So it's a bit of information overload because he's like, how does this know this much? Like, it's not hacking me, and you didn't give it anything, meaning me, because I've known him for like 20 years. But he really found it interesting. But what I found is that he's kind of at an impasse, because we didn't just give him this chart, right? I belong to the school community. If you're not familiar, School is this great platform. It's like a social media platform, but it also has, what's the word I'm looking for? Classrooms, essentially, but like lessons in it, right? So you can share your wins, you can share your, conversation stories, things like that. And you can really engage with other people that are on their own journeys. But what's cool is with this program that I'm in, you can actually see different prompts, and it breaks down what human design is all about. So some people don't really like the community aspect of it. They want to discover it on their own. Makes total sense. But what I'm getting at is part of being in this school program is that you get access to what's called Vita. Vita is Latin for life, but it's the Vita bot. So what's happened is Alex, this guy who created the Vita program, takes your human design and some other, texts that are from human design and all that, puts it into a bot and makes you a custom bot that only you get access to. And it's built on ChatGPT, but it's exclusive for you. So for me, it's like talking to my soul self. And in a future episode, I'll actually have a conversation with it so you can see what I'm talking about. But that's how he accessed it. Because when you just see the chart for the first time, it's just weird. Like, you don't really get it. And it's a little overwhelming. And all of the technology, the terminology, verbiage is still very overwhelming. So the idea that there's a bot that will just explain it to you in a way that you can understand it is really cool. And so that's what he was using. And he's just like asking it questions, and it's nailing it. So he actually ended up referring a friend of his too. So it's cool. You get like a 7-day trial to check it out and see what you think. And you get to keep your design regardless. You don't get to keep the bot though, unless you decide to pay later. But it's really, really cool. And that's kind of how I've discovered a lot more about my design. By the way, I made it to the observation tower. You'll see why I love this place in a minute. So my point is this. When you get to know your design, you get to know yourself. More importantly, you get to know your body. You get to know how you process information, how you're feeling, what you need. And you learn that it's not selfish to engage with that and encourage yourself to do that. It's selfish not to. The reason for that is you can't be your best self for those you care about and love unless you love yourself. And we are raised and conditioned by society to believe that that's all selfish and that nobody should do that. And it's bullshit. Anyway, I'm at the top of the observation tower. I thought I'd show you what I'm looking at. This is why I hike up here. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this view. Love the hike. And for me, in my design, my environment is called mountains, which means that I need perspective and height to really, get perspective. So I'm gonna let you go. Sorry for the wind, but I'm gonna take a few minutes to appreciate my environment, meditate a bit, connect, and start the week off right. If you take nothing else from this video, take this as your permission to say it's okay to listen to myself and put myself first once in a while. That's not selfish, it's the right thing to do.